Your phone is one of the biggest contributors to dopamine addiction, laziness, and depression. But that is only because we're not using it right. Instead of using all the great resources we have access to, we are getting distracted by TikTok dances, irrelevant internet drama, online shopping, and so on. And therefore, in this video, I want to show you how I turned my phone from a time-consuming monster into a device that enables me micro-learning, free education, a lot of inspiration, and even become my own personal coach. And for that, I came up with 3 steps that we can do, starting with controlling your screen time, and then in the second step, how we can rewire our brain with a content diet that educates us and allows us for personal growth, and finally in the third step, how we can build our own content library with creators that inspire us instead of distracting us. And keep in mind that this video is not about dopamine detoxes or locking away your phone so you never spend another minute on social media, because I don't believe that this will result in long-term changes. I've watched a lot of videos about dopamine detox and how you pretty much just break away for 2 weeks, only then to get back into your old patterns. And this is simply not long-lasting change. Instead, today we're looking at how we can teach our phone to uplift us instead of distracting us. My name is Simon and I'm an accountability partner. And what that basically means is that my goal is to make people reach their goals. And I believe that no matter who you are or what your goal is, the only way of actually reaching your goal is to make consistent progress every single day. But of course, life can be complicated and it constantly throws distractions at us, so that making consistent progress is actually becoming very difficult. And that's where I come in, because I believe that consistency wins, but accountability is actually something that will get you there. And I help people to do exactly that. Just by daily check-ins and weekly calls, I will make sure that you will reach your goal no matter what distraction life throws at you. And if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel, because this is where I upload weekly videos about self-development and how you can actually reach your goals and blur out all the distraction. If you're struggling with consistency and actually reaching your goals, or you're struggling to find a direction in your life, click the link below to get access to free resources or to book a free introduction call with me so we can discuss how I can help you reach your goals. But now that this is out of the way, let's jump straight into the video. If you're struggling to stay consistent with your goals, this video is for you. And I will let you in on a little secret here, because I have worked with a lot of people that have troubles reaching their goals. And taking control of your screen time and establishing a content diet is usually the first steps that I take with my clients to have the biggest possible impact. Most of us, and that is me included, we spend too much time on our phones. I work a lot with students that are a little bit younger than me, and some of them are averaging 8 hours just constantly scrolling on their phone. And the main problem with that is not the building dopamine addiction in our brains or the toxic comparison on social media. It is that we're just wasting our time doom scrolling on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. And I'm not saying that every minute has to be spent productively. Actually, sometimes taking a break is exactly what we need. But then doom scrolling on social media is actually the worst thing that we can do with our time. Going out for a walk with your dog, or spending time with your friends, or having a conversation with your partner, or cooking a meal together or something like that is just so much better for our brains than just doom scrolling on spending time on our phones. And if you have a very high screen time, I actually have very good news for you. Because first, you're not alone, and second, if you're managing to get that under control, you will have an immediate and measurable outcome. And I realized this just last week when I had a conversation with a real estate broker from the city where I'm living in. Normally, this guy was one of the best performing real estate agents in this city. But when he reached out to me, he said, "I don't know what's going on. I'm spending all time in bed. I sleep until 1 p.m. I barely eat. I don't talk to my friends, and I just feel burned out." After he told me all those things, I just asked him one thing, and that was to show me his screen time on his iPhone. And when he did, to no surprise, I saw that he was spending upwards of 8 hours per day on social media just scrolling away. And we didn't do anything else but rather control his screen time and his content diet. And within 2 weeks, he was back to his normal self, because he broke out of this dopamine circle, started gaining his energy back, and was able to get back to what he loved doing. In the following minutes, we will go through what exactly we did in order to get him out of this hole and for him to gain back his energy and motivation. And again, I'm not talking about big changes. The goal is not to get completely rid of social media, to lock away your phone in a safe for 2 weeks, or to have any self-punishing habits. It's more about small tweaks and actually using our phone to uplift us instead of distracting us. So let's look at the 4 things that we can do today in order to take and maintain control of our phone. And the first thing that I always recommend is to install a blocking app. A blocking app is simply an app that regulates how much time you can spend on your phone. You can regulate the time that you want to spend yourself, and what that does is that it's basically just installing some friction between you and the phone so that on your next 8-hour doom scrolling session you will be interrupted several times. On my phone I have installed Opal and this is working very well for me, but check out the description box below because there you will find some apps that I have heard very good things about. Most of them are free and easy to set up, so just go ahead and check it out. The second thing that we can do in order to control our phone is actually to clean up our phone and to delete all the distracting apps that we have there. One way of doing that is to create a folder on your phone and to put all the social media apps that are distracting you inside of it and maybe give it a title like intentional use or something like that. And that folder should never be placed on the first page of your home screen, but rather try to hide it on page 2, 3 or 4. And what that does is that every time when you try to use a distracting app, you will just basically have some friction that you have to find the folder, open the folder and then open the app. So there's plenty of time to reconsider if you actually want to open that app. To take this even one step further, and what I did on my phone is to delete all the shortcuts to Instagram, YouTube and TikTok and all other distracting apps, and also delete it from the suggested searches in the search bar. And what that does is that every time you want to open the app, you actually have to type in the name of the app in order to open it. And that always costs some seconds, which makes me reconsider if I actually want to open Instagram or if it was just a reflex because I was waiting for the elevator or something like that. Just by putting in the small friction will result in you spending way less time on those apps. The third thing that I did to my phone in order to have more control over it was to set up focus profiles. I basically have 3 profiles, one for my mornings, one for my work and one for my evenings. In the morning profile, I have 0 distractions, no notifications, and I have completely shut off my access to social media apps. During my work time, I only get relevant notification from Outlook or other work-related apps, and the same goes for phone calls, WhatsApp messages, or SMS. Then in the evening, I usually allow myself to scroll a little bit on social media to just catch up with my friends and see what's going on. But in my evening focus profile, I also have a limiter on all those apps. Just by setting up those profiles, you will have so much less distractions and only have relevant notifications on your home screen. The fourth and last thing that I have done to my phone to have more control is to set up something that I call a North Star lock screen. Instead of having my dog or my girlfriend as a lock screen, I have replaced that with my main goal in this given month and a quote that reminds me to intentionally use my phone. And what that does is basically that every time you unlock your phone, it's a mini accountability check. One bonus thing that I did to my iPhone was that I programmed my action button to turn my phone black and white. It's a simple tweak, but if you have a problem of scrolling too much on Instagram, TikTok or YouTube, doing that in black and white will be half the fun and therefore you will spend much less time doing so. Now that we have talked how to take control and maintain control of our phones instead of letting the phone control us, the next step is to look at our content diet. And that is very, very crucial, so you don't want to skip this part of the video. The word brainwashing, I think, has very negative connotations because you only hear it in context of Scientology or some other negative stuff. But if you think about the concept of just being exposed to something over and over again and then adopting your thoughts and emotions can actually be a very, very positive and powerful thing. So when I say that we have to brainwash ourselves, I'm talking about exposing us to information that will enable us to grow instead of distract us. And I made a video on exactly that topic before, so go ahead and watch that right here. But what it basically says is that we are what we consume. And if we constantly just consume stuff on social media, this will dictate our thoughts. And the problem with that is that when something dictates our thoughts will dictate our actions, and our actions will dictate our reality, which will then again dictate our thoughts. And through that, we are becoming in this full circle where we constantly reinforce what we are doing right now. And what that basically means is that for everyone who spends north of 8 hours per day on their phones, just consuming social media stuff, means that this content will dictate your thoughts and you will never be able to take action on the things that you actually want to achieve in life, which then again dictates your reality and nothing will ever change. And the basic idea is that change comes from within. So you basically have to start changing your thoughts for then to change your actions and for then to change your reality. But if you're being stuck on social media, your thoughts will never change, so your action will never change and your reality will never change. And the solution, and that is only if you're spending an excessive amount of time on social media, is very, very simple, as I said in the beginning. Because it's as simple as taking control of your phone, which we already did, and now to implement a content diet. And just by establishing a content diet, and we will now go through what exactly that means, you can change TikTok from this dopamine machine into an actually micro-learning experience. experience. We can change Instagram from a toxic comparison app to a space of actual motivation, inspiration, and good energy. And on YouTube, instead of watching endless content about online drama that is irrelevant to your life, we can actually leverage the platform as a free educational space where nowadays we can learn anything that we want within a matter of a click. By the way, the same counts for tools like ChatGPT, so if you're interested in how we can use ChatGPT in order to become our personal coach and to actually make us smarter with every interaction, watch this video up here. Let's have a quick look at how we can set up our content diets on all respective social media apps. And it's usually a very basic two-step progress. The first step is that we have to reset your algorithms on all social media apps. And once that is done, the second step is then to rebuild your algorithm and to optimize your feed for success. We will quickly go through how we can do that for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube because it's not always the same on all social media platforms. We can start with how we can turn TikTok into a micro-learning platform. And the first step is to go into the app and clear your watch history. The second step is then to also clear your search history. And what that basically does is that you're resetting the app in order to start from scratch. So once we have reset our algorithm and we have deleted our watch history, we have to actually teach the algorithm what we're now interested in and what kind of content we want to have in our feed. And we do that by engaging excessively for 3 days on all the content that you find highly relevant. So if your goal is that you want to get in shape, you should only interact with content that is about eating healthy food, how to cook your own meals, how to do workouts, how to get started, maybe some motivational stuff around that topic. Like, comment, and save all this relevant content. And with every like, comment, and save, you will tell the algorithm that this is something that you want to see, and it will quickly pick up on it. And after 3 days, your feed will be full of relevant content for you that will enable you every time you open an app that you learn something about the topic that you're interested in. Now that we have reset TikTok, we can look at Instagram and how we can turn Instagram into a place of endless inspiration. The first step, and that is absolutely crucial on Instagram to tell the algorithm what you're not interested in, is to unfollow all distracting and irrelevant accounts on your profile. Once that is done, start rebuilding by following the accounts that you're actually interested in and that provide value in the niche that you're interested in. Just like on TikTok, you should also start engaging with relevant content, but pay attention to saving the post because that is actually the strongest indicator to the algorithm that you're interested in that respective content piece. What is also important on Instagram in order to teach the algorithm is not only to show what you like, but also what you're not interested in. And you can do that by long pressing on irrelevant post and mark not interested. And that is the strongest signal that you can give to the algorithm in order not to get exposed to similar content again. Finally, we can now look at my favorite platform, YouTube, and how we can turn that into a free education platform. First, you go ahead and clear your watch history. Second, just like on Instagram, you unsubscribe to irrelevant channels and then start rebuilding by subscribing to channels that generate value to you. And last and not least, the fourth step that you can do on YouTube is very important because it's the strongest indication to the algorithm that you can give is to watch relevant videos that you really like until completion. Now that we have controlled our screen time and we have control over our phone, we have rebuilt our algorithm and showed it what we are actually interested in. The last section of this video is all about that we should keep building our content library. And what I mean by that is that you constantly can search for new creators and invite them into your content library. You can constantly reassess if the people that you're subscribed to are actually still providing value to you. And then every time you pick up your phone and scroll on social media, you will at least accidentally start learning, maybe getting inspired, and just leaving the platform in a more positive way than it was before. If you're interested in the profiles that I follow on social media in order to develop and educate myself to stay positive and keep being inspired, check out the description box below because I listed some of the relevant channels there, and feel free to subscribe to them as well. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the goal is not to get completely rid of social media. It's more that if we want to get distracted, it's not a bad distraction because it's not irrelevant stuff, but maybe when we catch ourselves doom scrolling, we will actually leave our phone smarter than we started with. If you follow those steps and you take control of your screen time and you actually start introducing content diet, the content you're exposing yourself to will actually rewire your brain slowly but surely, which then will lead to having different thoughts, which will then maybe lead you to take action at some point in the future. And then when you take action and that consistently, you will actually also be able to change your reality. The goal is basically to just reduce your phone time, but if you pick up your phone, you will get a low-key brainwash that will actually rewire your brain for success. Again, if you're struggling to define a goal or to make consistent progress in your life, or that you're lacking direction or whatever it is, just click the link below and book a free introduction call with me and we will have a look and make sure that within the next couple of days you will actually start making progress, and that consistently. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think I should be talking about in the next video. At this stage of the channel, I see all the comments and reply to every single one of them as well. Looking forward to read that and see you in the next video.